Mike Hoeflich, certified Social Security claiming strategist. You've been head of our department for years, and I still can't get the name of it right, but I'll figure it out before.
We'll try and shorten it.
WGRZ was nice enough to fill us up with some coffee during the break,
Oh yeah, can't get enough of that.
Let's talk divorce plan, or let's talk divorce plan. Let's talk Social Security planning. Sorry, I'm thinking about some of the other departments we have. Social Security. We started this department years ago because most financial firms, I think they do a pretty good job of managing money, and that's what they would focus on. But then when you looked at the overall picture in investment planning, it's something like 30 to 70% of people's income is Social Security, and financial planning firms are just totally neglecting it.
Yes, and I've talked about the great features of Social Security income. It's guaranteed by our government's promise, which I still hold in high regard. It's inflation adjusted still. It's legislated that if there's a CPI adjustment upward, inflation, prices go up, the cost of living adjustment will be placed on that Social Security benefit. It's also highly tax favorable. And that's something really important that sometimes people don't understand, is that kind of income in retirement is some of the best income you can try to achieve.
Absolutely.
So for all of those reasons, I think it's really important to understand, not only while you're accumulating wealth, but also in the distribution part of your lives, when you're harvesting from your own wealth. How can Social Security become that cornerstone that it can become?
Yeah, you know what I love is in our firm, we have some pretty sophisticated financial planning software, which makes it look pretty easy. And I love when you're sitting in with a client and we get to see all these different layers of where the money's going to come from. Social Security, their investments. And you always say, hey, look, we want to maximize, it happens to be blue on our software.
Right.
We want to maximize this blue part because that means you put all your money. I don't think a lot of people realize that. You put money in, and now we need to maximize how to get it back out.
Absolutely. And for many, many years, until you're maybe around 60, you're not thinking so much about this. But let's face it, if you're working, you're paying 6.2% in what's called FICA tax. That's to fund Social Security. You're also paying 1.45% on anything you earn. On all of what you earn, even if you're into the millions of income, you're paying 1.45 toward Medicare. Now, if you're self-employed, double those, because you're paying twice the amount, because an employer often will cover that other half. But you're contributing.
Another good gift from the government.
Another good,
Take the risk of owning your own business, right?
And so during your younger years, you have to at least understand you are paying into this fund, and how can the payment affect a 35-year average of how the calculations will be done once you can get a benefit out. So it's really important to know then. It's ultimately very important to know when you get invited, and I say it's an invitation to claim your Social Security benefit, what do? Do you immediately take the government up on that invitation, or do you maybe delay? And when you're an individual, it's a little more plain and simple. Should I take the money? Do I need it? Am I still working? If you're married, it's ultimately very, very important to make the right choice.
Well, married, widow?
Married, widowed, divorced persons. If you're married and you were married and you have not claimed a Social Security benefit yet as an individual, you may be eligible for what we call the use of a restricted application. And folks, if you're listening, please call me. If your birthday was January 1st, 1954, that's 1154 or earlier, you might be eligible for doing a restricted application, which truly could bring your household tens of thousands of dollars that you maybe didn't even know you could get. And I am not exaggerating, folks. Every week I can help people to find these dollars.
And I would say too, if you're 57, 58 years old, 59, start to look at your overall plan. I mean, you do it at 30 if you can, do it at 25, but at that point, you're going to have to make some real decisions on, hey, I've got this market cycle, less than 10 years probably to retire, and then I've also got to consider how is Social Security going to look in that overall picture. Awesome time to do some planning to say, I've got to pick the right Social Security option, and I've got to make sure my investments fit into that overall mix.
Blend it all together.
We're out of time. They're telling me to get to break. We got sponsors that need to run. So we'll be back. WGRZ Money Talks will be. Don't turn the dial. Thanks.